not enough vertical passing, in my opinion. He was a bit, in my opinion, stronger on the defensive side, but that was also because of the tameness of Udinese, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't expect that much from him because I know what his capabilities are and what his strong suits and his weaknesses are. But I feel that he's underperforming, and I don't think the eventual Spalletti news did him did him any favors either, or it's not going to do him any favors in the future. At least I hope not. I don't think that he's something you need in a two-man midfield at Juventus. Neither is, and I'm going to say the names, and you're going to say, "He told you so." McKennie or Cambiaso, for that respect, they were all very poor today.
I got the impression today that Locatelli was trying too hard. Right? He knew it's like he knew Spalletti was watching, and he was just
I,
trying too hard, trying to do too much with the ball with his feet. I did like his effort coming back on defense.
I just can't shake the feeling that he I don't know how to put this. He knows that there are a lot of eyes on him, which is always the case if you're playing at Juventus. But he always brings on that extra baggage of attention and then chokes. Like, yeah, I feel like, yeah, I just don't think he's good enough. He's
The
never been good enough for me.
Well, good enough is a relative term. I think I have to disagree with you on Frederick on the Loca criticism for this game. I don't think he was a standout performer, but he led the game in passing, 14 of passes into the final third, 10 of 12 on long balls. As we mentioned, he was very solid on the defensive side, which was really important with based on how we played and how far up McKennie was. And McKennie was going to be my pick for a player who maybe didn't really impress. And so you have him compensating for the forward movement of the guys ahead of him, as well as McKennie, which put a lot more burden on him in the middle of the pitch with guys like Cambiaso and Kostic out on the wing. And I think he did a two-way job, actually solidly, considering of how we were playing in this more direct fashion, bypassing the midfield in order to create chaos up ahead. So, with respect, as always, Frederic, I think the Loca criticism and Nick in chat agrees with me, at least to some extent, that we don't think Loca was that bad. I think a lot of people will be looking rightfully at Locatelli, especially once Spalletti comes, because of their history, to determine with what maturity Locatelli stands up to his role in this team now under new leadership. And I think that's a big question mark that I have, that if I were to guess, Frederic, you have as well.
I think everybody in the team needs to look in the mirror now. I think it's time for everybody to do that. Not just Loca, McKennie, or whoever. I think everybody, because I'm pretty sure that if somebody comes in with that amount of experience and has the balls on him, as he has proven in the past, to not be afraid of putting out, the prima donnas of the team. I think we have a lot of those on the team, so everybody needs to take a good hard look in the mirror, especially given the fact that Comoli himself doesn't really appreciate the way that some of the people within the team or within the dressing room are behaving lately. So, if you put that together,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
know I see what you're saying, but Jack, don't you think that starts with the captain? That's kind of why I highlighted Locatelli in this regard. Captain's in place to be the avatar of management and sort of how to professionally go about your business, right? If that person's not on board, then that isn't that the cause of a locker room sickness?
Yeah, he sets the tone.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We want to give captains the credit when they set a positive tone. We want to blame them when they set a negative tone, or when they don't uplift their teammates right on the field. That's one of the reasons why, as a coach, we pick our captains for our teams the way we do. Right. You want them supporting their teammates. You want them to be the voice on the pitch, not only speaking to the ref, right, and say, they're the one that's allowed to speak to the ref, but also communicating the coach's ideas to their teammates. Whether it's directly or through their own movements and asking for the ball and playing a ball to a specific spot. So the leadership is both vocal and then in their actions on the pitch. Today we didn't really see much of that, so I see Fred's kind of point there. But I do agree with some in the chat who's saying Loca didn't have that bad of a game. He wasn't the one I would highlight.
I think I spoke a bit biasly, to be honest, but it's also due to the fact that I mean I feel that if you're a captain and you're a captain of a team like Juventus, and I've never once saw Locatelli like being really angry with somebody, even though he has all the right to. Because if you look at the past games and even the past few seasons, there were some players that were really underperforming or really cutting corners in that respect. And if you as a captain can't stand up to them on the pitch and give us a clear signal to the rest of the team, then there's no hierarchy. And I feel maybe I'm old fashioned and old school in that, but I feel like in a team you need to have some level of hierarchy, especially when you're working with younger or lesser experienced coaches. So if you as a captain, and Locatelli's been playing a while now at a professional level, if you don't have that insight now at a team such as Juventus, and you're scared to come out of that comfort zone and try the best that you can, even vocally, I don't know what your added value is, because everybody can moan to the ref, and the way he even moans to the ref is very meh. I mean, if you're gonna moan, at least do it properly. But like I saw today, and I can no, but like there was
Frederick,
there
your
was a
criticism
no,
of Locatelli
no,
has
no, no, no,
reached a
no,
new level.
no,
He
no,
doesn't
no, no,
moan properly.
no, no, no. I mean, you have to look. I don't know if you can look back on that certain play, but there was I think it was in the first half. That was McKennie and Loca. They were involved in a foul, but nobody knew whose foul it actually was, because they both committed one. And you saw Loca, and I actually lip read it, and he said, translated, "Excuse me, is it my fault?" Fuck off.
He's just being
I mean,
polite, Frederick. He's just being polite.
show some fucking backbone, for fuck's sake. The ref blew. Just if you feel like it's not your fault, tell the ref that it's not your fault. It wasn't my fault. And then the ref will say, "No, it was Weston's fault." Oh, okay, nice. Excuse me. Oh, no, I'm sorry. My rant is over. I'm gonna leave it at that. So I'll just choose Locatelli. Sorry.
All right. Not only, Frederick, did I ask you for one and you gave me three, but then you came back to re-give me your answer. This is just a new level, Frederick. Just because
Sorry.
I'm forgiving because y'all's birthdays are coming up. But noted, Frederick. I'm gonna do
Sorry,
mine.
man.
I know I mentioned it. McKennie, Josh kind of encapsulates what I was gonna say. He says that McKennie does really well to get in good spots, but his decision making in the final third lets him down.